How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video with me, Jamie from Scrub Games, and in today's video I'm going to bring you a deck profile of a variant of Jiren that I've been trying out and enjoying really quite well. It's tested quite well so far, and that is the red-yellow version of Jiren. So if you don't know what Jiren does, he's probably one of the best generic yellow leaders in the game. So we'll go over the leader first. So what I'll do first then is I'll go over the leader to cover just for anybody who's never come across Jiren, just in case he started after he was released or has never really played it and never really took an interest to it. And then I'll go over the deck and then cover the turn by turn plays and the main deck's function. But before I do that, first thing I'll do is shout out to the Deck Planet. It's a new, if you haven't seen it, it's a new deck building site, new deck building platform for Dragon Ball Super. It's really good. It's so good that I just use it. I just use it now for when I do deck profiles or building decks. And it's always being built upon. Is always getting new features added, and you can keep up to date by creating an account onto Deck Planet and keeping up to date with the. There's a section where you can basically keep up to date with what new features are incoming or being thought about, and you can even have a forum as well. You can start topics with people and check out decks and stuff. Getting onto the deck. So with Jiren, this is his front side. Big boy Jiren. So he's got a auto where you choose one card in your life and that's your hand. And then that is when it attacks, you choose one or two options. You either draw a card and it gains 5k for the turn. So you end up getting two cards on swing, one from your life and one from drawing, and then become a 15k swing. Or you could choose the second option where you choose up to one Universe 11 card in your hand with energy cost of 2 or less and play it from your hand for free. So basically, the self-awakening, which is really good, meaning you have to rely on your opponent to awaken you or outside resources to try and awaken you. The leader does it itself. And whilst doing that, you can either draw 2 cards a turn from a swing to help you self-awaken, or you can just take a card from life to get at least one card and then play for free a 2-cost Universe 11 from your hand. Now there's quite a few options for it. There's 8, the main ones you want. There's 8 copies. There's 2 of each version, both in red and yellow. And he's like most leaders, he's got Standard Awakening. When you're at life of 4 or less, you draw 1 card and then choose up to 1 of your energy and switch to active mode. So it's an untapped draw 1, which is decent. It's probably it's decent for the leader, and it's like the middle ground of awakening at the moment. But then when you do awaken, it goes on this side, this big rip boy, and it has a auto of when it attacks, you draw a card and gains 5k power for the duration of the turn. So that means when it attacks, you get the draw like most leaders do, but you also become a 20k instead of 15. So that's good supply pressure there as well. That means just one combo and you're 25k, which is the sweet spots for DBS. If you know why that's a sweet spot, it's because a lot of time with super combos, you combo 10k and don't lose anything because the super combo replaces itself. But by at least going to 25k, it means even if your opponent wants to out combo it, even if they've got a super combo, they still got a combo another card on top of it. So they're not just out comboing it for free, they have to still commit another card to it, either another super combo, which then they're overpaying the combo power, or at least losing a card if they combo 5k. And then one thing that makes the main thing that makes Jiren really good, and even in this form I would say is really strong, is his activate battle, which is choose 1 card from your life to your hand, and until they start your next turn, until start your next main phase, as long as you have a U11 in play, you don't take damage from your opponent attacks. So note that it's only from attacks. So if your opponent tries to attack into you, like multiple to go wide and attack into you, go tall and attack into you, all you want to do is use the effect, take a card from life to add it to hand, and while you control U11 on board, you don't take any damage from attacks. But that doesn't stop any burn damage. So with red, it doesn't really stop any burn damage that red can do, or even Invoker can still kill you with a catastrophic blow. But apart from that, it basically just as long as you're awakening it for life, your leader basically just says you have 3 more turns to kill me, and well, I've got 3 more turns to try and kill you, and you can't kill me. Now, you might be wondering how do you make sure you keep a U11 on board to use the effect. So there's 2 options we got here. So we've got the first one is Casserole here. So he is a 2-drop 9k, so he's not really putting there much pressure, but then you don't want to really attack with him, you just get on board. He's got an auto of when if your leader is a Universe 11, when you play this card, or it's placed in the drop area from a battle area by your opponent's by a skill, so either yours or your opponent's. You can choose up to 1 Universe 11 card with energy cost of 1 from your deck, play it with the skills negated for the turn. So on your first swing, this is what you want to mulligan for. You want to go mulligan for this or the Emerald copy. We're going to go with the Never versions that does the same thing in your opening hand, because that way you want to swing with your leader, take a life, play this for free, and play the Kunchi, which we're going to go over in a minute. And the other version we've got that does the same thing that you want to mulligan for is the Pride Collective Coquette. So this is basically the version of Casserole we got in Draftbox 5. So it's got a similar effect of auto when you play this card, choose up to 1 Universe 11 card with energy cost of 1 from your deck and play with skills negate for the turn and shuffle your deck. So it does basically the same thing as Casserole, except it doesn't trigger as well when it's removed by a skill, and it's a 15k, which is nice, so it allows the people to put some pressure on as well. And just like with Casserole, they both have only one specified cost, so if you need to play it and you've got 1 red, 1 yellow, they're both playable, they only require 2. So if you want to hard cast it to span the board multiple U11s, you could do that. But yeah, so they're basically the 2 you want to mulligan for. Either or, doesn't matter, because you're free playing them anyway, and they bring out Kunchi. So with the 1-drops, there's 2 different ones you want to get. The main one is this one, as I said, Kunchi. So he's a 1-drop 5k, and he's mainly the one you want to grab because of his effect, which is a permanent. All your Universe 11 cards with energy cost of 2 or less in your battle area gain barrier. This means that everything on your board, when you've got this on the board, everything's protected by barrier, making it harder for your opponents to remove. And if you get multiple out, it basically makes it a lot harder. If you can get 2 of these out, like 1's good enough. If you can get 2 of these out, it makes it really hard for your opponent to get rid of them, even if they can get have an effect that goes through a barrier. Unless they can hit both, you're protected. And the other 1-drop we've got that helps out, that we can bring out that's helpful as well, is Vaughn, Dynamite Blaster. And he's just a 1-drop 5k blocker. So he's useful to get out. If you already got Kunchi, he's useful to get out, so you can protect your Unison or your leader from attack. So sometimes you don't want to use your leader's attack to or leader's effect to like take a life to survive. You can use it to do it for comboing or blocking. So you've got more. That way you still have more turns. So you could do that. And an easy way to recycle these two cards is Jiren, Pride of Universe 11. So this is a card. This is like a hand trap. If you played Yu-Gi-Oh, is like a hand trap, or sort of like a hand trap, because it is only usable on your turn. And that's because of the effect of Activate Main. If your leader card is a Universe 11 card and you place this card in your drop area from your hand, so if your leader card is a U11, you discard it. You can choose up to 2 Universe 11 cards with energy cost of 1 in your drop area and play them when the skills negated for the turn. So that means, this is really good that if your opponent is able to get through the Kunchi, or you're able to combo off your Kunchi and then bring them back with the Jiren. So you can use them as combo power, then bring them back to the field by just discarding that card. This makes Vaughn really good because if you can get 2 Vaughns out, you can block both Vaughns, and then on your next turn you just do your whole thing of drawing, charging and stuff, and then discard the Jiren to grab out the 2 Vaughns, so you got them to block again. So it means you can keep blocking, and it helps protect your Unison as well. And the last, actually I'll go over the next bit in a bit. Oh, actually the next Universe 11 got that really fits the archetype, but it's not a boss monster, is our Toppo. So you don't know what Toppo does. He's a negate. Now I can see that he's a 4-drop on the printed cost, but he's not going to tap 4 to play it, because he got a counter attack. So he's the kind of negate where you choose one card, you activate the counter attack, choose one other card in your hand, place it in your drop area, then you negate the attack and play it itself. But it's not going to pay 4 because it's permanent, where if it's your opponent's turn, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. Now you can see that it only requires one specified red, meaning even if you want to mainly charge dual color or yellow, you don't really want to charge mono red. So it's normally turn 1 you want to charge a dual color because then you can attack, play Kunchi or Coquette for free. But after that, you either want to charge dual color or you want to charge yellow. You never really want to charge any red because of the boss monster, which we're going to go over in a bit. Or one of the 2 boss monsters we're going over in a bit. And what makes Toppo a really good negate is if it's auto, of if it's your opponent's turn, when you play this card, for the duration of the turn, your opponent can't attack unless they choose 2 cards from their hand and place it in the drop area each time. So it basically says, when your opponent first attacks, you tap 2, you discard a card, which will give you 1 drop that you can easily bring up from Pride of Universe 11, and then you play this, then its effect triggers, so any more attacks that turn they want to make, they have to discard 2 cards to do it. Now unless they've got a really big hand and they feel they can go for a game, they're just going to end their turn. They're just going to do stuff they can do without attacking and then pass the turn. And the main one of the best things about this is when they attack with a non-leader and you drop this, meaning if they want to swing a leader, while they get a draw for a swinging, they have to discard 2 cards first, so they're minus then. So that's it for the main Universe 11 core, apart from the boss monster, which we're going to go over at the end. With our unison, we're playing Piccolo Jr., Descent of the King. So this is a red, 2 specified red, 15k unison. So normally what you want to do is charge a dual color, and then turn 2 you want to try and combo, well not combo, sorry, you want to charge the weak spectator, so you've got 2 reds so you can play this. But normally the best thing to do with this is play it turn 3 and awaken turn 3. Now I'll go over why that's really the best bet after we go over the skills. So as I said, it's a 2 specific cost, so it only requires 2 red energy to be able to play it. And it's got 3 skills. So the first is auto, where when your opponent activates a counter skill, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO it. So it means anytime your opponent activates counter, be it a counter play, counter attack, you can trigger this and pop something they control 15k or less. Now this isn't once per turn, so if they do multiple counter like negates or anything, or counter attack, counter plays, then you can wipe their board. And it's got a +1, which is one of the +1 is what makes it one of the best unisons, as well as also it's just activate main +1 to draw 1. So it means every turn it survives, you're drawing a card extra and increasing the markers, which is increasing the life on the card. Another skill that could be really handy with this deck is his second one, which is the -2. Is activate main, choose up to one of your red battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less. Choose up to all your opponent's battle cards with power less than or equal to the chosen card and KO them, and then the card gains Rejuvenate, which is once per turn. Remove 2 markers from this card for the turn and attach a card underneath it to gain a life. Well, to put a card from your deck into your life area. Now this is really good because, as I said, the leader's effect is an activate battle where you take a life to make it so you can't die by battle for the turn while you control U11. Now normally when you're awaken you're at 4, and that gives you 3 uses of it. But with this Piccolo Jr. you can get quite high on counters if it's left unattended, and you can trigger the second, the -2, then use the effect to give yourself more life, which gives you more turns to survive. I've had a game where I've used put myself up, used the effect of Jiren once, then use this effect to wipe their board by choosing Coquette to wipe the board of 15k's, and then -2 to put myself back to 4 life. So I've still got another 3 turns after their next turn to not die from battle. And this is one of the main reasons why I've decided on trying this version out, and it's so far been working quite nicely as well. So it means on offense you've got this really good effect. To if they try to negate any attacks, you just pop their battle cards, and on defense you've got things like Toppo to make it so they're less likely to attack. Now, the other things we've got to support, so we've got We Suspect It here, which is the check land for red-yellow, where it's got energy exhaust where it would be tapped if you charge it, but if you've already got a red-yellow multicolour in your energy, that's not itself, then it doesn't come in rested. Now, normally you want to keep one of these in your hand. Like, what you want to mainly do when it comes to mulligan is you want a dual colour in your hand. You want to try and see this, and a casserole coquette. And the main ones you want to see a casserole coquette and a dual colour. Those are the main ones. This you don't mind if you don't see it, because you could potentially draw off leader swing or from damage when the opponent attacks you. And to go with the help be defensive, we've got the arrival in super combo. So we've got the Wii super combo. So it's just a dual colour super combo. Doesn't draw, but the leader draws enough. And it's got the effect of if your leader is red or yellow, when you combo with it from your hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So this is really good to help remove little things, or even make something smaller. Make something smaller when using the Piccolo. So if your opponent attacks with if you've attacked with something else and you use that super combo to make something from 25k to 15k, and you swing again in the gate, you didn't go. I could pop that card. And the two things that helps with is the rival cards, which you mainly want to do on your turn, your opponent's turn, to get rid of it while they control their board and amass a board. So the first one we've got is the 1-drop, which we play 2 of, which is King Vegeta and Vegeta Brawl Bloodline. So this is for 1 yellow, and when you play it, you draw a card and you choose one of your opponent's battle cards. Rest move with energy goes 3 or less and KO it. So this helps you get rid of little weenie free costs that aren't 15 higher than 15k that swing. So if they swing with a free cost, try to go in, or something like critical or double strike, rival the sim, and then boom, you get rid of it and replace itself. And the other one we play is Beerus, No Hold Barred. So this is for the 1 red and 1 yellow, which is easy enough to do. Now, what is a bit more costly, but its effect's really strong, because of his auto. When you play this card, you choose one of the 2 options. So you either choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 3,000 power or less and kill it. So this means if your opponent goes in with a big boss monster trying to kill you, and it's 30k or less, you can play this to KO it. Or even if it's 40k or less, you can use the Wii Super Combo to reduce that card by 10k and then play this to pop it. Or the other option, which is sometimes you might want to do because it's quite nice to stun your opponent, is the other one. It's just choose up to one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards in red mode, non-barrier, and that card can't be switched to active mode until the start of your next main phase. So yeah, that's a really good effect. You want to do that effect in your turn, but the other effect you want to do in your opponent's turn. In your opponent's turn, you want to use the effect to KO the battle cards. So you could put yourself on you put something on the board that's 25k and get rid of something of theirs. Or during your turn, if you want to be offensive and also not worry about them cracking back that hard, you can arrival this in, choose their leader that's rested to keep it rested, so they can't attack with it and they can't gain that draw when they swing with it either. And the only problem with that second effect is make sure they're awakened or can't awaken the next turn. We're doing that because if they can awaken, they then can shrug off the effect. Well, actually, no, that doesn't matter because it's in rest mode. But those are your arrival options. And the other attack cards we got is 2Kai. So this is similar to basically like Champa. When you combo with it, you can choose one of your attacking cards against double strike. So this is a good way to finish off when you if you put your opponent down to 2, use this in a combo to finish them off to put double strike on something. And then we got 4 kind of meta attack for the format is Master Roshi, Martial, Virtuoso. And this is why you play the red unison, because it's a counter attack. Where if you have a red unison card in play, so that's why we have the red unison, because you need one to play this. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards of 25 power or more for the turn, and then play this card. So normally when your opponent on the turn, they swing with a leader first to get the draw. And the benefit of them doing that is you get use this counter attack. So tap one red, use the effect to counter attack with 25k or more battle cards for the turn, and then play itself. Now you don't negate the attack, but you basically just say to your opponent, they only need a 20k or less battle cards can swing for the turn. So if it's like Dark Broly, and they swing with leader first, unless they can kill you on that turn, they can't attack with 30k battle cards for the rest of the turn. So it basically shuts off the deck. And everything's like I'm trying to think of now. What can I think of it? And there's any deck that's got 25k beat sticks that you can play quite easily. That stops, but it's more of a tech for Dark Broly to help survive. And then last tech card we got is Flying Nimbus. So basically just the yellow negate, probably the best yellow negate really at the moment. So as a counter attack, negate the attack, then you can discard a yellow card. And if you do, your opponent can only attack one more time with battle cards for the duration of the turn. Now, if you don't have Roshi, but have this is what you want to do when your opponent's leader swings, as then you negate the leader swing, and it basically just say you've only got one more attack with your battle cards and one attack with unison, which is really helpful. And the thing is with this is it's not as great as it once used to be because the introduction of unisons, giving them meaning instead of just negating the leader back in the day, and your opponent couldn't be able to now attack one more time, is now they can attack again up to 2 times now because of unisons. Now we're getting on to the finish of the deck. So the first one is the Universe 11 Absolute Justice Jiren. Now this one's a really strong one. It's a 10 cost, but you're not going to be playing for 10. It's got quadruple strike, which means all you have to do really in this deck is to get your opponent to 4, and you leave the rest up to Jiren or the next card we're going to go over. And the reason why I say you're not going to be playing it for 10 because of its permanent, which is reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each Universe 11 card in your battle area, but you can't exceed the specified cost. So it means you can reduce the card. It doesn't matter how many battle cards. It doesn't matter if you've got more than 5 battle cards at Universe 11 in your field. You've still got to pay the specified cost of 5 yellow. So this is why I say that you don't want to charge red, you want to just charge yellow or multicolor. So on turn 5 you can play this, and it's very easy to span the board because if you drop 2 casseroles or 2 coquettes or a combination of 2 of both, you can play at 4 battle cards, and then it's easy enough to get another one on the board with Jiren, Pride of Universe 11. So by the time you get to turn 5, you should have easy enough been able to establish, and also with Toppo as well. So you should easily be able to establish 5 Universe 11 on board. So when it comes to your turn 5, you play this for a 35k quad strike to try and finish your opponent off. And one good thing that makes it beneficial, now you might be thinking paying 5 for a quad striker that's for 35k is not great, but its auto is what makes it pretty strong as well. Its auto is when you play this card, you choose all your opponent's battle cards and energy in rest mode and place them in the drop area. So it means if say you go first and your opponent on the opponent's turn 4 they've tapped out, they've passed turn, you go to your turn 5, you charge your yellow energy or draw a colour if it's a Whis the Spectator, and then you tap your 5, play this, and now everything tapped. If they tapped out everything, it all goes to the drop. So they've back to having 0 energy or just 1 energy if they left 1 open, and now if you can't kill them, they're going to have a hard time trying to make sure they can kill you. But if you can't kill them with that, what you can do is play this next card, which is a secret rare, which is Selzeno. So this card, I'm not sure everybody knows, but I'm still going to go over it. Is a 12 cost secret rare. So it's got quad strike like Jiren. Ultimate, meaning you can only have 1 copy in your deck. Deflect, meaning that counter plays don't affect it. And energy exhaust, which you're never going to worry about because you're never going to charge this. And last one is Successor. So what Successor does is, by paying the cost of Successor, which luckily for a cell is 0, and if by paying 0 and putting either mono yellow cards, mono green cards, or green and yellow cards, cards that are both green and yellow, from your field into your drop, you can play this card from your hand. Now it's really easy to go into this because if you do drop Jiren Absolute Justice on your turn 5, it's really easy to go to this to finish him off if Jiren can't do it, because Jiren is a 10 cost, then on the field is only 5 cost to play him from hand, but then when he's on the field he's a 10 cost. And if you have another Universe 7, if you've got at least 2 Kunchis, 2 Von, or a Kunchi and a Von, or even just 1 caster on the field, that with Jiren makes 12. So if you, so on turn 5 you normally make sure you can go for kill if you've both got both this and Jiren, because you can play Jiren. Oh yeah, and another thing as well is when you're playing on turn 5, it triggers his auto as well, which is if you have 5 more energy. When you play this card, choose up to 3 cards in your opponent's hand, so you choose them. So it's not your opponent choosing their non-negates to drop from their hand, or dead cards. You get to choose, so you can potentially rip out their negate that's going to save them, that could potentially save them. And then this card gains total attack for the duration of the turn. So it means if you got both this and Jiren on your turn 5, you're getting 4 quad-strike swings, and they're 35 and 40k. So they're either comboing a lot or forcing out negates and stuff. And that's why I say you only have to get them to 4 life. So typically you get turn 5, you play Absolute Jiren for 5. You basically just send all their stuff that they had in rest mode to the drop, so they're in a bad way. And you swing with Jiren if they can out combo it or negate. You then sack off the Jiren and say a casserole to play Zeno. The Zeno then triggers and ditch 3 cards in hand, and you get 2 swings to finish him off as well. And you don't even attack with leader or any of the battle cards you haven't bought either. But that's the deck. I've been testing for a bit and it's testing quite well. But mainly what you want to do is, as I said, the turn progression is basically turn 1 you want to charge dual color, and after that you want to charge either yellow or dual color ones, mainly Weast the Spectator. And you want to try and mulligan to get either both a dual color and either a casserole or a coquette in your hand. So you can charge the dual color and then swing with lead and play the casserole coquette to get the Kunchi out. Because once you've got that out, you're absolutely fine, because then you're set up to have your dual color energy down to try and play your Piccolo and have Toppo live and have your leader live with Kunchi on board. And normally the best turn really to play the Unison is turn 3, because you can go as long as you've charged a dual color in your turn 1 and are able to either charge a dual color to turn 2 or charge a Weast the Spectator either turn 2 or turn 3. You then charge your third energy. You tap 2 to play the Piccolo, so it gets 2 markers. Use effect to +1 to draw a card. Leader effect to untap 1, draw 1, so you've got 2 energy open now. Swing with it, draw a card, and then now you've got 2 energy open ready for when your opponent's turn to play Toppo to protect your Unison. If your opponent doesn't go for the Unison, you're absolutely fine. You've got energy open for a rival with the BRS or the King Vegeta, but if they do for Unison, you want to protect that with Toppo, because the longer the Piccolo's down, the more draws you're getting. And if they then leave it alone because it's got too much on there, you can even then just put a copy under it to gain a marker, use effect to select a coquette, board wipe, and then -2 markers again to gain a life, so your leader is now has even more life to make sure you can guarantee get to higher turns. And what you can do now against blue, at the moment blue's not really a meta deck at the moment, so what you can do is you can side in the 12 drop from the set 9. I can't remember what set it was, but there's the 12 drop Jiren that has quad strike, deflect, but it comes down for 6 as long as you've got a certain amount of Universe 11 energy, which you can always do by comboing them off. And Jiren, probably Universe 7, puts himself in the deck drop, and so does the Toppo. And then it can come down for 6 energy and has a permanent where when it attacks, your opponent can't activate counter or block its attack. So it means you bring it down, they can't affect it because of deflect, and it did 12 cost, means it really doesn't. They can't really pop it with Freezer, and you can swing, they can't count out of it, and you just combo everything in and finish them off with that quad strike. And then it's I think a 12 drop, so you can drop the cell straight on top of it afterwards. But that's it for the deck profile. Thank you for watching if you watched it this far. Like, comment, and subscribe to keep updated with the videos. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and let me know if I've missed anything with the comments section. But what I'm gonna do is bring in the other versions of Jiren I've been testing. I've been testing green, yellow Jiren, mono yellow Jiren and blue yellow Jiren, because Jiren is one of my favorite leaders, and I had so much fun playing with it back when we had set 9 before this whole virus started and stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching. It's been quite a long video, but I like to be descriptive to go over as much detail as I can, and also help out any newer players that are watching, to go over the cards thoroughly, just so they're informed properly. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.